You're crazy. Just like Murdoch. If I see that sucker, I'm gonna do more than punch him in the nose. I'm gonna break his neck.
I didn't realize that Mr. T was the fantasy. That is.
I pity the fool who takes Cole Beasley.
Oh, pity the fool. You want me to take care of him? I got it for you, fool.
Nobody called B.A. Baracus a liar.
It's for the kids, Johnny. It's for the kids. Welcome to Fantasy Spook Island. We've got Johnny Ballgame, the Fantasy Crusader.
What?
We've got the Fantasy Creeper.
Hi, guys.
And we've got Her Poops a Lot.
Oh,
No,
no. An hour of that.
please never do that again.
I think the Fantasy Reaper needs to take someone out. That is disturbing. Welcome to the island, guys. It's the Halloween Spook Show. And welcome to our special show for this weekend. We hope you have a great Halloween. We appreciate you guys hitting that like button and subscribing if you like this fantasy football
Do
content.
it.
It's been a great ride for us so far. We continue to grow as a channel, and we appreciate your efforts, so thank you very much. For today, we have a great show. We have some news and notes around the NFL, fantasy goblins and ghosts this week. We've got fantasy zombies, rise from the grave, possessed, and a bunch of other stuff for you tonight, so we hope you enjoy the show. But let's start off with some fantasy nicknames. And Tony, start me off, brother. What do you got?
How about Gulio Bones?
Nice.
That'll work.
Good.
Well played, sir.
How about out in New England, Damian Polaris, because he's turning into a star.
That's a reach.
Wow.
That's good.
How about the Bengals QB? His name is Crow Scaros.
Nice.
The Fantasy Reaper likes it when you use the Halloween terms instead of the regular fantasy nicknames. Very good. I'm going to stick with the regular stuff. How about Libido Samuel out in San Francisco?
That's awesome.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice.
Let's see if you guys catch this one. The Earnest Scared Stupid Johnson.
Oh, that's good.
Fantastic film.
I like that.
Sure.
How about Cooper? Yep.
Foster, the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh,
Wow. That was a deep cut right there. That is, yeah.
That's
That was
really
actually-
good.
Hey, how about the running back in Atlanta, Mike Hemostasis? Because he stopped that blood flow.
How about San Francisco? Elijah Witchell and Creepo Samuel.
there we go.
Very good, I like that. How about out in Tampa, OJ Coward?
Oh,
No, I like that. I also like their quarterback, Tomb Shady. This is brutal.
that's good.
And how about out in Detroit, you got DeAndre Smith. He's the main course.
How about AJ Gray? Plays for
Oh,
the
we're- And last one, I got one more here. How about Nicole? Football is hard, man.
Yes. All right, I'm done. You got me.
I actually think that you pulled out a late winner on that one. I think
That was good.
with that one.
That was good.
That was good.
All right, you guys ready to have a good time tonight?
Let's go.
Let's do this shit. I mean, let's do this stuff.
Let's
I'll
do
bleep
it.
that out. Don't you worry.
Kids don't cuss.
The Fantasy Reaper will take that out. On with the show.
News and notes around the casket.
All right. News and notes
Let's do
around the
this.
coffin. First set of news is out in New York. The Jets have traded for Joe Flacco. Wait a minute. Didn't I kill this guy like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Joe Flacco's back on the Jets. He's not going to start this week, however. But I'm going to start with you, Royce. Do you think this helps the cause of the wide receiver, Mr. Davis, Corey Davis?
Maybe a little bit. He did have a connection with them. Last time he was there, he was the number one guy. He's still going to be the number one guy, even if Poop's playing quarterback for that team, right?
Probably.
I think you still got to play him only in matchup situations, but I think the Jets right now are just dead. I think if you could stay away from them, then just do it.
What a
John,
shame.
tell me, the Fantasy Crusader, is there a crusade for that quarterback Joe Flacco that I killed 2 years ago?
You mean Ho Crapo? Yeah, that guy's great.
Yeah, let me put it to you in some simple terms that I think you
Do
can
it.
understand. No.
Yeah, you're probably right, man.
I don't think you downgrade the receivers that much because I don't think you had him upgraded in the first place. But he can't be worse than what was going on there. I just don't think he's going to be any better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, guys. Speaking of another corpse that I took out years ago, Mark Ingram, right before the show, was traded back to the New Orleans Saints.
Yeah.
Tony, tell me, do you think this affects Kamara at all? Are you worried that he's going to start to maybe take some of his carries that he's been getting so many of this year?
I think maybe a little, but nothing too extreme. I think it might give them a little bit of breather and some safety, for the team. But nah, dude, Kamara's on fire. It's not going to take too much away from him. Maybe a goal line carry. Maybe. I'm a little worried about that, but I think they're going to keep giving it to him.
You know what's fire, Tony? Is TJ Huzmanzada in the background there, wearing Chad Ochocinco's jersey. What the hell is that?
That's great, isn't it?
Speaking of fantasy reapers,
Gary.
All right, on to the next story. This one is an interesting one to the Reaper. Mike Evans. He didn't realize that Tom Brady had just thrown the touchdown of number 600 to him. So what did he do? He went up to some lucky fan and handed him the ball. Brady went to Evans. He's like, what the hell, dude? That's my 600 touchdown. Go get that ball back. Byron Kennedy was kind enough to return the ball, and he's since been rewarded for his gesture. The team promised him season tickets for the rest of this year and next, $1,000 in store credit. Mike Evans is giving him a signed jersey and game-worn cleats. Tom Brady is giving him 2 signed jerseys and a helmet and 1 Bitcoin, which is worth $58,000 as of today. Now, I want to ask you guys, did this guy get enough for that ball? I'm going to start with you, Tony.
Hell yeah. I think so, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, what is that ball going to be worth? Either way, it's a good trade-off, dude. Like, emotional trade-off. He gets to, heroes are going to give him autographs and stuff. I'd be happier than a pig in shit with that. That's all I'm saying.
What do you think, John?
yeah, I thought it was cool. I think he got enough. I think he got some karma credit as well, giving back that 600th ball. I don't think he was going to sell it to begin with. I think he thought it was really cool to have. I don't think he actually was going to sell it. But I think they went over and above, and the only thing he's still asking for is a round of golf with Brady. So if Brady does that, that'd be pretty amazing. But even without that, I think he got enough.
So you don't think that ball in an auction would go for more than, say, about
It would go for
7,000?
about. Actually, I heard one of the articles says like $250,000 in an auction. But again, you also got to prove its authenticity and all that good stuff. Now, granted,
That's not hard to do, Johnny. We saw it on
Yeah.
TV. Mike
Yeah,
Evans
yeah.
had
Yeah.
the ball.
Yeah, but again, I don't know.
What do you think, Royce?
It ended up.
He did the right thing. I mean, he got kudos for it. I mean, gosh, after hearing how much that ball was worth, I think I would have stuck it under my sweatshirt and just headed for home, right?
no doubt.
But he did the right thing, though. I mean, first of all, it's not his ball. That's Tom Brady's ball. I mean, the guy was just standing there. Evans just saw him. And when the weird thing, guys, what do you think about this? Let me ask you this question: what if Mike Evans ran up and he gave it to like an 8-year-old kid and said, "Hey, buddy, here"?
That's a good question.
And now what do you do, right? So
That would have been a
Give the kid some-
disaster.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take
Give
my
him some
answer
ice
off there.
cream.
Yeah, give him some ice cream, right?
That's me yanking it out of that kid's hand because I'm
And then-
bigger than him.
and then running for
Right,
the
that's
for
right.
the aisle, running for the exit.
Just
Way to be
kidding.
way to be a crusader there, Johnny.
I bring over another football and be like, "Hey, dude, I want to trade you 2 footballs for that football. Let's go."
There you go.
That's a way better deal.
Totally.
All right, Thursday night game. The Green Bay Packers are going to be shorthanded for their game against the undefeated Arizona Cardinals. Alan Lazard is definitely out due to COVID protocol, and Devontae Adams is highly questionable and might miss the game as well due to a positive COVID test that he received on Tuesday. So, if these 2 guys are out, first of all, I want to ask, who are you guys looking at for, Rodgers to be able to throw to somebody? Who's it going to be? And secondly, are they going to be inept now that their 2 main weapons are out? And is Arizona just going to run them out of the building? I'll start with you, John.
So look, here's the thing. A couple of years ago, they had a game where their 2 starters were out, and Jeff Janis had 145 yards, and a couple of other receivers you've never heard of had big yards. Their tight end had big yards. Rodgers will be fine. Turns out he knows how to play quarterback in this league. He can throw to people. Now, I like Amari Rodgers, who's on that team. He's a rookie. He's a wide receiver. I actually like him as a little bit of a sleeper this week. So if you're looking for somebody, you're in complete trouble. Maybe you've got some people on a bye week, although there's not that many, so you shouldn't be that way. But if you are, look at Amari Rodgers or what's his face?
Scantling.
St. Brown.
St. Brown, yeah. I would look at him. MVD or MVS, Marcus Valdez Scantling. He's coming off an injury. I'm worried about him. So
True.
yeah.
Does anyone think Robert Tonyan's going to have a big game? Just one
Bobby
big
T? Yeah.
Bobby Onions.
Bobby Onions.
I do.
What do you
I
think,
do.
Royce?
I do. He's the only viable guy right there. Unfortunately, in one of my leagues, I'm going against him, so I'm hoping not. But he's at least 2 touchdowns tomorrow night, I think.
Think so?
Absolutely.
You're going 2 touchdowns for Bobby
2
Onions?
tutties.
Wow.
Wow. That's
Does
like
anybody-
some balls?
Have a hankering for some corn on the cob?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's going to be Cobb and Aaron Jones, personally. I think they're going to be all over. They're going to be throwing to Aaron Jones, dumping it off.
That'd be good. I hope so. I think they're going to run the ball too. This is one of my picks for later, so I won't get into it too much. But yeah, I like Jones in this game. Jones and Onion for sure.
I think Aaron Jones is going to have a big, big week. The Reaper-like. The Reaper.
I think we're going to find out how old Cobb is today,
Yeah, you might be right.
Yeah, exactly.
because they're gonna be like, wait, Cobb's the only real receiver that's got any experience on that team. We should double him.
That's true.
He's not gonna have hardly any catches. So
Fantasy Reaper should probably take him out too.
you need to look at him, Reap.
Yes, please.
All right, last story is Dak Prescott is questionable for Sunday's game with the injury to the heel. Baker Mayfield is looking promising to play on Sunday with the shoulder. And Nick Chubb sounds like he's ready to go and come back from his injury. I want to know what you guys think. Will all 3 of these guys play, or maybe 1 or 2 of them? What's your opinion on that? We'll start with you, Tony.
Yeah, I'm more worried about Baker. Well, I shouldn't say worried personally because I'm not playing him, but I don't see how Baker Mayfield is going to be able to get through the season. That does not sound like a comfortable injury. He goes down the wrong way. I mean, he's in trouble. I realize it's not his throwing arm, but it sounds to me like Chubb's going to be playing, though. They should be good with their running game, of course, but I worry about their passing game. Yeah, I know you love Chubb. He's going to go off for you.
Full
I
chub.
get it. I get it.
You love you some Chubb.
What do you think, Royce? Are they all playing?
All playing. If you have a better option than Mayfield, I'd play him. But if not, start all three. Definitely.
John, what do you think?
Totally agree. I think Dak Prescott's injury was way overblown. Everybody says he looks great and doing fine.
Yeah.
Mayfield's the only one I've got a slight hesitation about whether or not he's starting. Like Tony, though, I'm not starting him in any league, so until he starts to prove some stuff. So
I really need Dak to be healthy because I got
So
me
do I.
some CD Lamb.
Yeah,
Let's
me
go.
too.
All right.
Compact disc lamb.
PP sheep.
This is compact disc.
Fantasy Goblins and Ghosts.
New segment for you guys. Today it's the Fantasy Goblins and Fantasy Ghosts. Goblins are creatures that are mischievous or outright malicious, and they're super greedy, especially for fantasy points. And ghosts are players that freaking disappeared on us. So, in week 7, Mr. Johnny Ballgame, or whatever you call yourself, Fantasy Crusader, who was your goblin for week 7? Who gobbled up points for you?
Well, I got a couple for you, but I'll just go with the one first, and it is Mr. Marquise Brown. Marquise had a nice day. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, and Lamar didn't really have the greatest day, but Marquise came through, man, and that toe drag swag reception that he had in the end zone was just all hands and just understanding where your body was. Saved my fantasy day a little bit, so I go with Hollywood Brown.
Hollywood, California.
Yeah, he's back.
Yeah.
He's back in Hollywood, California.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
All right.
it is.
Tony, you had a running back that was your fantasy goblin last week. Who is it?
I picked him up in 3 leagues. Started Ernest Johnson for Cleveland. That guy he was the entire offense, man. He cleaned it up. He was my goblin of the week for sure. Badass.
The Ernest was the earning yards last week.
Yeah, he was.
Great pickup, Boop. I tried it myself too. I didn't get him, but great pickup.
It's awesome.
By the way, the Crusader and the Reaper were super wrong on that one. We thought the other running back was going to get all the play with the passing down.
You sure were.
The
Yeah.
Ernest Johnson said, "Nee."
Yes, sir.
All right. Royce, you also had a running back. That was your fantasy goblin for week 7. Who is it?
Khalil, don't call me Justin Herbert. I know, ball game, you have some stake in this guy. Real quick, this is for ball game, little trivia. Where did he go to school and what round was he picked in?
Talking about Khalil Herbert?
Yeah.
He was, oh, shoot. I know this answer, but I can't remember. 5th rounder, right? 5th or 6th round?
The 6th rounder went to Virginia Tech, transferred from
DT,
Kansas.
Nice.
Yeah.
At 18.3 fantasy points in the last 3 games, he's had 18 plus touches. He's the number 1 guy right now until Montgomery comes back.
Yeah.
But people, if you have him like me and ball game do, hold on to him. I could see him kind of in like a Pollard McKissick role for sure. I mean, this guy got 100 yards against Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay had only given up 67 the most, 67 yards, and
He's real.
most. Right now. He's a real deal. In a game that was 35-3 as 100 yards. I mean, come on, he's for real. So you have him, keep him, and when
Definitely have a
Montgomery
role.
comes
You're
back,
right.
Yeah,
Yep.
got him. Keep him on, and flex him this week too. Keep playing him until Montgomery comes back.
They're going to be the Chubb hunt of 2022.
Exactly.
Him and Montgomery.
I'd vote for them. Montgomery,
Yeah.
Herbert.
I have a Chubb for both of those guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. Speaking of number 1 guys, my number 1 guy, Josh Allen, was off this week. So I had to plug in Matt Ryan, and he was my fantasy goblin. Matt was 25 of 40 for 336, 2 tutties, and 1 INT. And he served his purpose. Now I can dump his ass on the waiver wire or take him out fantasy Reaper style. Whatever I want to do with him, I don't need him anymore. You guys want him? John, you want him back?
Yeah. Give him back now.
Okay, thank you for dropping him for me so I can pick him up and just play him the 1 week.
Mhm.
Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. It's my
The Reaper's
pleasure.
happy.
But
right.
real quick, Chuck, if you don't have Allen, Atlanta's got Carolina this week, so you might be another plug-in game.
No, I got Josh Allen. We good.
No.
Against the Dolphins.
I'm saying though, yeah, if you don't have Allen, Ryan's got.
He's not a bad play, right?
He's not a bad play against the Panthers this week. So.
Agree.
with you.
All right, our second Goblins. We'll go back to Johnny. You have an interesting Goblin this week. Who
I
was
got
it?
a defense, man. I'll tell you what. Every defense that plays the Jets this year, he started. It is like fantasy gold. There was a fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, 2 sacks, held them to 13 points, held them to under 300 yards. It was what I like to call delicious. And that is my fantasy goblin this week, the New England Patriots defense.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Good call.
Pat
All right,
Riots.
Let's roll to the tight end position. At tight end, Tony, you got a Goblin. Who was it?
Oh, Mr. I can't say his name, Gesicki. Miami Dolphins. What was it? 7 for 85 and a TD. That guy was an absolute freaking goblin for me.
Sure was.
He was a goblin for many. I hope he keeps up. I mean, he's got Buffalo, I think, coming up. But, man, I'm stoked. I hope he keeps doing it all season. Looked badass.
It's a tough one this week for sure, but
still playing, Poop. Definitely playing.
I'm going to.
Yeah.
All right, Royce, you have, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, you have a wide receiver that made his first Goblin for the year for us. Who was it?
This is for Poop. AJ Brown. Poop. Trivia question for you. I just found this out today. What does the AJ stand for in AJ Brown?
Anthony James.
Arthur Juan.
What?
Yeah.
Arthur Juan?
So they've got 2 receivers, one with the name Juan and one with the name Julio.
Yes.
Is that what you're telling me right
That's
now?
what I'm telling you. Arthur Juan Brown.
Okay. Never heard that.
He had 9 targets, 8 receptions for 133 yards and a touchdown. He was number 4 this week, wide receivers. Remember, Poop? We were off him in the first couple weeks.
Yeah.
And now he's back. He should be a top 5 guy every week. Last 2 games, he's got 112 yards and he's averaged almost 22 points. So obviously, if you have him, lay him. Arthur Juan Brown.
Another Juan bites the dust.
Nice. Last Goblin of the week was for me, Damian Harris, out in New England, 14 carries, 106 yards, 2 touchdowns, added 2 catches for 7 yards. This guy's a freaking stud, and Bill Belichick is starting to realize he's a stud, and that makes the Fantasy Reaper happy. All right, let's move on to some ghosts. These are guys that ghosted us, didn't score much, disappeared, whatever you want to call it. John, you have an interesting ghost to start us off with, and it's not even really a player. Explain.
This is going to be a little bit of a rant, so stay patient with me. My first fantasy ghost should be the schedule makers. There was no reason to do 6, count them 6 teams off on a bye week when the next week you got 2. You got 2 this week and you did 6 last week. Do you know you made it an actual term by Mageddon? It was that bad.
Yeah.
I say to the schedule makers, you should be put in the grave. Reaper, go do your job.
Absolutely. Man.
You want me to handle business?
Get that shit done.
All right. I agree. This week there's only 2 teams on bye. Why the heck couldn't they have split it up with 4 and 4? Why did we have to have 6 teams on bye and they were all good
Terrible.
teams?
Right.
Yeah, it hurt me. It hurt.
Yeah, bad idea. All right. Now we're on to some real players. We'll start with you, Tony. Who was your ghost?
Where do I start? I'll start with my running back. Tough weather conditions, but it still was a heartbreaker, and that was Alex Collins. It seems like, what has he been in, like 4 games now? So the 2 of the games that I did not start him, he of course had a big game. Saints are not easy to run on. The weather was not easy, but the game before it, that rainy game, San Francisco, everybody was teeing off. So I was like, you know what? I'll throw in Alex Collins and see what happens. Wow, he sucked. I have 2 mouths, by the way. Yeah, he was terrible. So Alex Collins, Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, he was awful. Garbage.
God awful.
Speaking of garbage, another piece of crap that maybe the Fantasy Reaper should just finish off for the year is a running back for you, Royce. Who was it?
Beating the same drum, guys. Antonio Gibson. He's killing me. He's killing a lot of people in leagues.
Sure is.
7.6 fantasy points. He had 14 rushes for 51 yards, and he had 2 receptions for 5 yards. That's just not going to get it done in the backfield. I mean, he's not a number 1, barely a number 2 anymore. We thought at the beginning of the season he was going to be more involved in the passing game. That's gone to McKissick. He's not there on third down.
Yeah.
The only we can hope for is a 1st and goal, and he gets one, gets a TD. But with Washington being down pretty much every game, I mean, he's invisible. They're throwing the ball a lot, so it's.
Want me to just go break the shin?
I think you just be done with it. I mean, you got to play him in a 12 and 14 team league. I get it, but maybe in an 8 and 10, you got to look for other options right now. Which sucks.
I agree.
It's sad.
Yeah, it's disappointing.
Big hype for him in the beginning of the year, and he just hasn't shown up.
Well, I got a guy.
Yeah, that's true. It's not healthy, but still, hurts.
Still sucks.
Still sucks. Yeah.
Yep.
I got a guy that really sucks, guys. And if we were doing the Fantasy Reaper segment, he would be the first guy to take out. And that's Mike Fakis out in Atlanta. Mike Davis had 4 carries for 10 yards. And that's it. Absolute garbage. Cordero Patterson has established himself as the guy in Atlanta. Mike Davis is an afterthought. Mike Davis is dead to me.
Yep, I agree.
All right, we got one more round of ghosts. Johnny, you had a double up at receiver. You had 2 fantasy ghosts. Name them.
I got Cortland Sutton, was god awful this week. And I've got Tyler Boyd, who has just disappeared. He may get 3 or 4 targets every week, but man, they're not good targets. Let's just be honest. Sutton had a rough game in Cleveland. He gets Jerry Jeudy back this week. I actually think that'll help him a little bit. But it was rough. It was absolutely rough.
Yeah.
I feel you, man. I have Cortland Sutton in my Dynasty League, and I played him, and he came up small.
Yep, sure did.
All right. Tony, you also have a wide receiver that let you down. Who goes?
Very, very talented DJ Moore. I'm not, obviously we can't blame him. There's something up with the QB position. It started off strong. Darnold and him looked fantastic, and we all got really excited, except for Chuck. And now the past couple of weeks, it's been an absolute heartbreaker. He is definitely been a ghost. I mean, 5 or 6 catches, I think, but it's not going to do it. It's not going to do it unless you're railing in 50-yard touchdowns.
Right.
Yep.
Agreed.
Sam Darnold, you're teetering, bruh. I'm coming for you. All right. Royce, you had a tight end as your ghost this week. Who was
Yeah,
it?
he does.
Heyo. It's just this guy just had a bad week. You're not dropping him, Reaper. Don't take him out. Mark Andrews just had a bad week. 3 of 7 catches for 48 yards. Looking at the score at halftime, you thought maybe he was going to get 3 or 4 more passes with the Ravens being down. It just didn't happen. Bengals shut him down, and that's fine. Hey, your stud's not gonna. Babe Ruth didn't hit a home run every time he was up. I think every 7th time, but not every time. So don't panic. You got to buy this week, so obviously you got to pick somebody up in a spot if you have them. But still disappointing. The last couple games he had 16 catches for 3 touchdowns. So I was hoping for maybe just 1 last week and about 8 catches. But it's okay. Doesn't happen every week. So
Mark Andrews he's touchdown dependent. So when he doesn't get the touchdown, sometimes he can hurt you.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay.
They'll be fine. All right, last ghost. This guy's been all right, but he's starting to fade. Running back Chuba Hubbard out in Carolina, 12 carries, 28 yards, 4 catches, 28 yards as well. Doesn't score. He's struggling a little bit. He's not popping off long runs. He's not getting a lot of catches. It's time for Christian McCaffrey to come back. I think it's got one more week, and then McCaffrey comes back. Chuba's he's teetering, guys. I'm gonna take him out too. Chuba's done.
Yeah,
I think so too.
sucks.
Carolina's done. I mean, who do you play on that team, right?
Jay Moore, the only one.
Greg Olson.
Greg Olson, yeah. Greg Olson.
Ah.
That's true. I'd play him. Steve Smith.
Yeah, Steve Smith.
Yeah, that's it.
Fantasy Zombies.
Fantasy Zombies. These are players that we think are done and can either be dropped from your roster or used only in absolute emergencies. I'm going to list off about 8 to 10 guys. We're going to talk about them and tell them what we think. Should we just cut them? This is a standard, like 12-team league with like maybe 15-man roster. I'm going to ask you real quick. Is Ryan Tannehill at quarterback a fantasy zombie? He's quarterback 22 right now. John, what do you think?
Absolutely not. He's starting to get into this offense. I actually would go buy low on him if I could.
Absolutely.
Agree fully.
Yeah, I'm playing him this week. Play him, definitely.
Boys are getting hot. He's just going to start throwing more.
Yep.
The Fantasy Reaper doesn't agree. I think you could drop Ryan Tannehill. He had his best game of the year.
What a shot.
Wow.
He had his best game of the year, and he had 1 touchdown pass. And he did his little layup thing, whatever.
He's just warming up, dude. Just warming
Derrick
up.
Henry's
Just
warming
warming
up,
up.
folks. Derrick Henry is the offense. But I'll give you this. A.J. Brown is now alive, and he's a thing again. So that will
Julio
help.
will be
Ryan
back
Tannehill.
next week. Julio will be
Julio
back next
Bones.
week. I'm telling you.
So the Jays will help a little bit, but I don't know if Tannehill's worth rostering unless you just don't have a great first quarterback. Then sure, but if you have like Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes or any of the top 7-8 quarterbacks, you don't need Ryan Tannehill anymore. Just my opinion. All right,
I hear you.
I think we're all going to agree on this next one. Running back Devin Singletary. We call him Devin Singletary because that's about all he gets every week now. He's running back 40. I think you can just drop him. What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. I mean, Zach Moss is a stretch, but I'd rather have Zach than him. So what are you going to lose? What chance? I mean, there's no chance. Just get rid of him. Let him go.
All right, let me say this, though. First of all, I think Singletary sucks, and I don't think he's going to help your team. But don't drop him just because you want to drop him, right? Like, drop him if you're going to make your team better. If you're adding somebody who can make
Sure.
better, then drop Singletary. If you drop in Singletary just to get him back, just to pay him back for sucking on your team, that's not necessarily going to help you at all, right? Make your team better. But yes, I agree. If you can make your team better, drop that son of a B because he's terrible.
Yeah.
Next guy. This guy's terrible. This guy's old. I've already talked about him. Mike Davis. He's running back 38 right now, and that's going to be going down, down, down. Cut his ass. Be done with them. You can't afford to start Mike Davis ever again. Unless Cordarrelle goes down to an injury, then maybe you can consider
And
him.
even then, no.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's such a shame. Last year, subbing in for McCaffrey, man, he was the man. He was such
Yeah,
a-
what happened?
he
What
just-
happens in 6 months?
I don't know if it's the
Stop.
offense.
First of all,
team.
stop, everybody. He did good for a little bit. Remember
Good.
the year last year? He still turned out to be the guy he was for 4 years before that, which was nobody. He got 800 yards in the first several games, and then he kind of disappeared at the end of the year. I don't know why I am on record at the beginning of this year saying he would not be a good running back because he's never been a good running back. Mike Davis is exactly what he was for every piece of his career up to the 8 games he had last year where he was a flash in the pan. That's
Okay.
all.
All right. You might
Yes,
have
get rid of him.
you have a point. So you're saying is you're not surprised one flipping bit.
No, not at all.
But when you see somebody putting up the numbers he was putting up, it gave hope. So I did grab him in many leagues for like a flex. So I took chances. I'm just super disappointed. I thought he was going to be able to be like, hey, get 50 yards. Dude, this guy's getting like 19 yards on
8.
7 carries, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
But you're right. I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. You're right.
I picked up Cordero, and it was the greatest pickup I've ever had.
That one's been surprising.
Yeah.
It's always been
Surprising
fast
on
as
the
hell.
other side.
Big
Yeah.
fast dude.
I'm super excited to waste this next guy. This guy's been pissing me off for 2 years now, and that's running back Naheem Hines, who is now running back 51 in fantasy football. And I'll tell you what, the starting running back there is becoming the beast that he is, and the coach is finally recognizing that and just not utilizing Naheem Hines as much. And this is going to be something that continues. You can cut his ass.
Yeah, gone.
Yep.
Gone.
I agree with you. I agree with
Yeah, I
you.
agree with you.
Taylor is a star.
So good.
All right, I said it in week 1. I'm going to say it again. And then, Tony, I want you to respond.
All right.
OBJ is DOA. Are you going to cut him?
Well, depending how you the way you described the beginning of this was kind of like, okay, yeah, I am. He's not. I was gonna say, he is kind of like your 4th wide receiver, maybe on a roster, in case you really need somebody. He might get like 5 targets, but they don't need him, dude. They're not. He doesn't. Case Keenum doesn't even throw to him. So yeah, kind of like Johnny was saying, don't just give up on him because you think he sucks. Make a wise decision. But yeah, you can let him go, man. It's a shame, but you're right. You're right, Mr. Reaper. You can let him go.
He's not a thing anymore. He's not the same explosive player. He doesn't have the quarterback hucking him the ball like he did in New York. It's over. It's over until he gets traded or moved. It's over in Cleveland. Don't just cut him. Also, another guy that I think you can cut, wide receiver 93, Brandon Ayuk. I spit on him. Please get rid of him, because if you keep trying to play him, you're just spinning your wheels, getting 3 points.
Yeah. He is a waste of roster space. Completely agree with you. I would pick up somebody like Amari Rodgers for Green Bay this week.
Anybody.
Somebody like what's the dude on the Patriots that all of a sudden has started catching balls over the last 3 or 4 weeks? Can't remember his name, but he played.
The guy from the Raiders?
Yeah.
Journeyman.
Yeah, journeyman guy. Anyway, I'd pick up that guy.
Aguilar.
His name, and I want him better than I want.
Isn't it Nelson Aguilar or something like that?
No.
Not him.
There's Harry, there's Ferry, and there's Larry.
Damn.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, I hear you.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All right. Here's one that we're going to debate this one. I've been saying cut his ass for the last 2 weeks. Allen Robinson, wide receiver 64, proves it yet again. You can't play him, so why roster him? Johnny, I know you're gonna tell me not to, but go ahead.
Again. Yeah, I get it. You want to cut him. You're mad at him. You want to get rid of him. You want to get him back like that girlfriend that really did you wrong, right? Save him. Stash him. Don't cut him yet. He's too much talent. Eventually, Fields is going to figure out that he can still play the game of football and throw the ball down the field. And who's he going to throw to? He's going to throw to Robinson. Don't cut Robinson yet. Just hold on loosely, but don't let go.
Oh, 38 special. I like it.
Yes.
Now we're in week 8, John. How long do you wait? You're wasting your
Who are you picking up that's better? Who are you picking up?
Anybody.
Kendrick Bourne. That was the guy I was thinking of on the
Bourne,
paper.
right.
Jason
Bourne identity. Yep.
Yep.
There you go.
He's, by the way, from week 3 on, he's receiver number 19, by the way.
At least he has an identity, unlike Mr. Robinson, because he'd be robbing you, son. All right. Next guy, I think we're all going to agree. Until Christmas rolls around, we're probably cutting Robbie Anderson, right? Wide receiver 62. He's doing his thing. He just completely disappears, and then he'll have like a 5 or 6 game run maybe at the end. You could take a flyer on him. You don't need to roster him, though.
Nope.
Here's one that's questionable. From the New York Giants, wide receiver 68, Kenny Galladay, who's been on holiday for the last few weeks. But he's a talented receiver, and he is coming back. Do you stash him, or do you just cut his ass? Tony, what do you think?
I'm not too sure. I think I would cut it. There's too many people to catch the ball. I think I don't think it's necessary to hold on to him. You got 5 guys that are getting a bunch of catches, and Galladay's never healthy, so I would let him go personally.
Royce, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a tough one. God, there's just Giants are hurt left and right. I mean, he can just get 2 games under his belt, maybe. I think I would stash him. I don't think I would drop him completely, but I wouldn't start him right away if he's healthy. I think Shepard's coming back, so yeah, I don't think I'd get rid of him. Again, I don't know who else is better. I mean, I don't know who else are you picking up out there. I would just hold on to him.
The bottom line is Kadarius Toney is the talent on that team. John,
I agree with you. When he's healthy, he is the talent on that team, but he's also always injured. The receiving corps is always injured.
Yes, they are.
In college, he was injured in camp. He's been injured already twice this season. I don't know what to tell you. The best ability on the NFL is availability, and he ain't. So back to the question about Galladay. I feel the same way about that guy. Oh, look at Tony. It's nice to see his face. I feel like I'm kind of with Royce a little bit, though, on Galladay. I think I might stash him for a minute just to see. Maybe not get rid of just yet.
Oh, I think Larry.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
But that's what I would do.
I hear you.
Fair enough. Last one we want to check in on. I think you can hold this guy for 1 more week because of the situation going on with COVID for the Packers. But after that, you can cut his ass. That's my opinion. And that's Robert Tonyan, tight end number 21. What do you guys think? After this week, you cut him? You want to see what he does this week? What do you think?
Tonyan?
Touchdown Tonyan. That's the only time he's ever worth anything because he's not catching any balls. He'll get you 3 for 21 every week, so you're good for a floor of 5. Congratulations.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. I play him this week though, just because there's no one else to throw the ball to. I mean, Rodgers he's not running every play. He's not Lamar out there. He's got to throw it to somebody. So I keep him this week and then drop him after. Yeah, definitely.
Rise from the grave.
All right. So those were the guys that are fantasy zombies that are possibly leaving this fantasy world. But now we got guys that have previously left the fantasy world that are rising up from the grave. We got 4 guys, 1 each, that we think are going to start to explode the rest of the season. And you should check them out. We're going to start with John. He's got a wide receiver. Shoot, brother.
This guy, every week or every year, he surprises you because he's always in the top 10 at the end of the season. And you go, really? I didn't think he was that good. But he's the only really good receiver they've got on their team. He's been injured for most of the year, kind of made a little comeback last week, had a little bit of a tweak on the knee, so they kept him out. It wasn't a good weather game anyway. Jarvis Landry is my rise up. I think he's going to have a fantastic rest of the season. I think he's actually going to win some people some championships because he's going to come out of nowhere and he's going to be a receiver that you didn't think you had. And with all the injuries going on, if he can get healthy and get right, Jarvis Landry is the only really good receiver on the team.
All right, Tony.
I'm writing that down.
Yes, sir.
Tony's writing that down.
Yeah.
And Tony, you also have a wide receiver that you think is going to rise up from the grave. And who's that?
I have my the colors are over my shoulder. The original colors there.
Bangies.
I'm actually going to old Mr. Ankle, AJ Green. I think, what is he? He's averaging 6 to 7 receptions right now, putting together an okay season. And I don't see Hopkins going off. He's doing well, but I really feel that AJ Green is going to rise up from that grave and he's going to put some huge games together. You guys will see. It may not be every week, but it's going to be every other week. He's going to definitely do the Cardinals some good, and he would be a huge second wide receiver for some people's rosters. That's my
Tony,
opinion.
can I give you a little since week 3?
Okay.
Number 22 wide receiver is DeAndre Hopkins. Number 23 wide receiver is AJ Green.
Holy poop.
Yep. They are
Holy-
literally,
I didn't know it was that close.
they're 2 points apart.
Holy me. Holy poop.
2.6.
Sticking with the Cardinals, Royce,
Wow.
you got another guy in the Cardinals that you think's rising up from the grave. Who is it?
Yeah, Zach Ertz. Wow. Move to the desert. Maybe get a tan. Reconnect with the wife. And you get 16 points against Texans last week. How great's that? He's their number one tight end. He's pretty much their only tight end now with Max Williams down. That's fun. I picked him up this week because I had Mark Andrews on the bench, and I got someone to root for Thursday. I like him. I like him at the back end, actually going from here on out, back in tight end 1. So
Interesting stat. He also caught a 48-yard touchdown last week, the longest of his career.
Right.
Yeah.
No, first game with the Cardinals. Bam.
Yeah. I like it. Keep
Also
going.
let it be
That was
known
his
that Royce
longest. I
said,
didn't know that.
Royce said, I like him from the back end. That's
Right.
all. It's got weird.
Hey.
I love Hurts from the back end.
All right, I got a guy that's rising up from the grave, and he truly is, because this fool's been dead. He is quarterback 0 because he has 0 points this year. But I think Deshaun Watson is coming
Lord.
alive
Oh boy.
because Miami reportedly has agreed to the terms of a trade with the Texans to acquire Deshaun Watson. It is contingent on a few things being tied up. They want to check in the legal situation and get a few more thoughts about it, and then the trade will be consummated, is what I'm hearing. And if Deshaun Watson gets traded, and the NFL is saying that they're not going to punish him yet because nothing has been legally sentenced yet to Deshaun Watson, he will actually play this year. And on that team with those weapons, Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback. Rising from the grave. Truly rising from the grave.
That really would be a rise from the grave this year. That would be a true one.
That would be.
I think it's trouble. I think it'd be trouble for Miami.
Me too.
I really do.
Yeah, but for fantasy purposes, you just picking them up on the waiver wire and stashing them.
For fantasy purposes, I probably would, though. Yeah.
Yeah. Are they trading quarterbacks? Are they doing a Lion Ram thing? Like, what are they?
They haven't said.
They haven't
Haven't
said
said.
yet, huh?
All I know is 3 first-rounders will be going to the Texans. That's the only thing they've announced that they've agreed on. There'll be other parts.
I think that's great for the Texans, then, man. I think that's good. Good for them. Get him out of your hair and get 3 first rounders, and let's start over. I like it.
All right.
Possessed.
So, we've had our fantasy zombies. We've had our people rising from the grave. Now we're talking about players that are freaking possessed this year. These are guys that sold their souls to the devil and are now playing possessed. And we didn't expect it from them. So we each have one guy, and we have an honorable mention that we're going to talk about that are playing out of their freaking mind and they're possessed. We'll start with you, John. And you got a wide receiver. Who do you got?
No, I got a quarterback.
Okay, do the quarterback.
Oh, that's right. We talked about moving out of it. Well, all right. I'm going to go with the quarterback just because I think we haven't talked about him enough. Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Last 2 weeks since our man Gruden and his infamous emails have exited the building, we got a 48.55 week and a 58.85 week. If you've watched this guy play over the last couple of weeks, he is out of his damn mind. He's throwing balls like you have not seen. This guy's on a mission now, and I wish I had it. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
All right.
Good call.
Yeah, he is. All right. So we wanted a wide receiver. Now we'll get one. We're going to go to Tony, who is playing possessed. Who sold their soul to the devil?
He had to sell his soul. Listen, we all knew this kid was going to be good, possibly amazing one day. a few of us, including myself, want to kick ourselves in the ass, but I question his ability at the beginning of the season. And this guy is unbelievable, remarkable, and the future of the Bengals organization. That is Jamar Chase. This kid is unbelievable. I cannot say it enough. He had to sell his soul. There is no way a rookie can do the things that this guy is doing. Jamar Chase is the man.
I can't watch Tony be serious with that mask on. It's killing me. Oh God, that's awesome.
All right, Royce, you're going to go with the running back. This guy's been possessed, and I think we're all going to agree with your choice, but let me have it.
Yeah, we talked about him earlier. Cordell Patterson, guys. I mean, the beginning of the season, did we know this guy even what team he was on or if he was even playing?
Not even drafted.
Not even drafted, right? And he just popped up playing both wide receiver and running back. I mean, you can plug him in either place. Even the NFL, even fantasy doesn't know what to do with him. This guy's a legitimate flex / guy. And I think I probably was the only one up at 6:30 the other morning watching Falcons Miami because I have no life and I was up. I think I talked about this with the ball game or maybe or the Reaper. I mean, when he gets the ball, guys, he runs like he's possessed. He runs with his head down, his hair on fire. I mean, if you need 4 yards, give him the ball. He'll get hit at the goal line, and he'll just jump for 4 more. I mean, he is so much fun to watch. It makes Atlanta football actually fun to watch. You're like, who the hell was going to say that? I mean, Atlanta has their weapons back. I get it. You know, Ridley and Gage and Pitts is going off. But Davis is a bust. Stick Patterson back there. He got he ran the ball. He had 14 rushes last week. 14.
Yeah.
And he had 9 targets. I mean, play him if you have him. Trade for him. I mean, this guy's going to win you a championship this year. I really do. I believe it. And again, just fun to watch.
Yeah.
Another wide receiver that the Fantasy Reaper was wrong about, and I continue to wait for him to fail or get hurt, and it's just not happening. And that is a guy that most leagues you drafted in the 5th round, and he's the number 1 wide receiver in football. Cooper Kupp. Always open. The defenses don't respect this guy. I don't know what it is. He'll motion out from the left, come across the field, and you know damn well it's to throw him a little screen pass. Somehow they just forget about him, and Stafford just hits him for a little 5-yard touchdown. How many times has this happened? Cooper Kupp gets open on every play, and he's the deep ball guy too on the Rams, and Stafford loves him. Cooper Kupp's not going away, guys. I was wrong. Cooper Kupp is a man. He's possessed. This dude sold his soul to the devil.
Absolutely.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
Number 1 wide receiver.
Number 1 wide receiver. I'm not going to lie. I kind of like it, being the Fantasy Reaper.
It's amazing.
All right. John, you had an honorable mention that you wanted to talk about also at receiver. Who was it?
Because this guy, like, out of nowhere, I mean, I drafted him, but like super late in the rounds just because I had the quarterback already.
15th round.
Hollywood Brown, man. Hollywood Brown is, let me find him where his ranking is real quick.
Wide receiver 6.
Wide receiver 6.
Wow.
It's wide receiver 6, folks. And occasionally he'll put up a stinker, right? He'll give you a 7-point game, but he'll also give you a 41-point game and a 22-point game and a 21-point game. He scores points, man. Yeah. And yes, the one of his stinker weeks was 8.3 points, but he dropped 3 touchdowns. So the targets are the passes are there. Normally he catches those 3. He had some great catches with his hands this week, so he's fantastic again. Hollywood Brown is he is a man possessed this year, especially after such a horrible year last year.
Yeah. I also have an honorable mention. Wide receiver 5, who I drafted in the 10th round, Deebo Samuel. This guy, every week he comes through. I keep waiting for him to fail as well. And I own the guy. I want him to do well, but he just keeps producing. Deebo.
Yes.
Deebo. He's been amazing.
He's been great.
Wasn't he a character on Friday?
What's that?
Did you guys ever see the movie Friday?
Oh
Of
yeah.
course.
Sure.
Devo? Yeah.
Oh,
That's
Oh,
why
right,
I say,
right.
oh!
Week 8. Morbid matchups.
Week 7 is over. Now we're going on to week 8, the spine-tingling matchups. I have 6 games I want to talk about this week. Let's discuss. We'll start with the buys. There's 2 teams on bye, the Raiders and the Ravens. Thank you, schedule makers. Why don't we just have 2 teams on a bye every week?
exactly.
Thursday night special, Green Bay Packers at the Arizona Cardinals. We've already discussed the situation going on with Green Bay. So the Cardinals are favored by 6. The over-under is 51. What are we looking for in this game? I'll start with you, Tony. What are you excited about?
Well, I mean, God, it's gonna be a great matchup, but it's more about what I'm concerned about, and that's the Green Bay offense. I think they're gonna be fine, like Johnny was saying. You're talking about Aaron Rodgers, who's got plenty of people to throw to. So I'm a little bit. Listen, I think the Cardinals' defense are going to surprise us on this game, and I don't think it's going to be incredibly high scoring. I don't think it's going to be real low, but I think that defense is going to step up, and I think the Cardinals are going to take this game for sure. But I think it's going to be like a 21-13 kind of game. That's how I'm feeling. I could be wrong.
What do you guys think? You guys excited about any of the players in this game? Are you looking at anything in particular?
I would like to say something. Hot take. Green Bay wins this game. A hotter take the under. These games never live up to the hype. They never live. And this is one of the most overhyped Thursday games I can remember in a long time. But Hopkins might not play. Obviously, the 2 receivers in Green Bay might not play. I'm telling you, it's going to be one of those games everybody goes in, they're like, oh, I can't wait. And it's just going to be a miserable game. And I think the Cardinals lose. I think they're due. They're not an undefeated team, so they're going to have to lose to somebody. I think Rodgers rises up and goes, oh, you took my 2 receivers away? Screw you guys. I'm going to go, and I'm going to go win this game. I'm going to put you all on my back. Let's go.
Johnny ball game.
My Halloween costume, if I'm Rodgers, when I'm growing all that hair out, which is allegedly is what his costume is, I think he's going to go as Jesus. That's what I think.
Man,
Yeah, little trivia for you guys. Aaron Rodgers threw his first touchdown on a Thursday night game.
Yep, I saw that today.
Yeah, he came in for an injured Brett Favre.
Mm-hmm.
Brett Favre.
well, I'll tell you this. If Devontae Adams doesn't play, Rodgers still does well. He's proven that in the past. So I'm not worried about him putting up numbers. But Arizona's got a really good defense. Thursday night games are usually crap because they don't have enough time to prepare. You got the COVID situation, so he's missing a couple guys. I do think it's going to be a stinker. But Arizona's going to win, Johnny. You got to stop hating on the Cardinals, baby. Get on the bandwagon. They're good.
Won't do it. I don't own a trumpet. I won't get on the bandwagon.
All right, fine.
You look like you do. You're wearing the outfit.
I was going to say, you do kind of look like you own.
All right. This game is interesting to me, and not because these teams have great records, but it's the potential. If one of these teams loses this game, they're in big trouble. And that's between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Cleveland Browns. And it's in Cleveland. Cleveland's favored 3.5 points, over under 42.5. So Vegas thinks it's going to be very low scoring. I want to know, does Chase Claypool finally get back on track? Does Ben Roethlisberger, does the Big Hen able to throw him the ball, or is this a lost cause? What do you think? I'm going to start with you, Royce.
I actually like this. The start. This is not one of my picks, but I actually like the Steelers in this game. I think they can go there and steal it. No pun intended.
Steelers.
Claypool, no. I like Deontay Johnson and Najee Harris in this game. I like a 2019 kind of feel. Run. Field goal to win it at the end.
So nobody cares about Chase Claypool?
Isn't he questionable? He's got kind of a hammy issue still. I'm a little worried about that. I'm a little worried about him.
I've actually renamed him Chase Clay Who because he's disappeared on us this year.
Wow. I think Nick Chubb's going to have a good game. Pittsburgh's been sneakily not so good against the run this year. Teams have been able to run a little bit on them, and I think Chubby's going to get them. But we'll
Chubb's
see.
the man to do it. Absolutely.
Yep.
It's like
All
him and Henry. Those two guys will run on any defense.
Or he'll
Right.
be hurt on the fourth play of the game. One of those
Oh,
two.
Johnny. Why you make the Reaper sad, Johnny? All right. Tennessee Titans. They've been super exciting to watch the last two games. At the Indianapolis Colts. Over-under is 49.5. Titans are favored by 1 point. So it's almost a pick 'em game. I think the Titans are going to go in there and whoop that ass. What do you think, Johnny?
I like the Titans a lot, man. I feel like they're starting to come together right at the right time. Defense is actually starting to play good, which was sort of their Achilles heel. They were doing all right on offense, but the offense is getting better every week. Tannehill's getting better every week. The receivers are getting healthier every week. Brown's been hurt. I mean, he's been really hurt. He's been a knee. He's been a ankle, and then he got the sickness all at the same time. But that guy's starting to heal up, and you saw last week why I've been tooting this guy's horn for the last 2 years. I loves me some AJ Brown, and I think Julio comes back and makes a giant contribution. They'll get their tight ends a little bit more involved, but they're actually the reason they don't catch many passes and why I would never start a Titans tight end is because the line's injured a lot, and so they bring those guys in tight to help block. So don't start any of those guys for fantasy, but I like the Titans in this game for sure.
What do you guys think?
Absolutely. You want to dump like Tannehill, don't you, Mr. Reaper?
Yeah, Reaper.
He's going to throw at least 2 touchdowns, at least.
With you. And run one.
Titans are going to destroy him.
All right, we'll see. We'll see.
Real quick, I like Henry a lot this game. Mitchell for the Niners last week against the Colts ran all over him. Henry's going to have a big game.
Agree.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yep.
All right. This one's interesting, and I'll tell you why. It's the New England Patriots at the Los Angeles Chargers. Chargers are favored by 5.5. The over-under is 49. The reason why it's interesting is because last year, Mr. Sherbert had one bad game all year, and it was against Bill Belichick and the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick, does he have his number, or was that a fluke? I'm interested to see. After he had a disastrous game the week before against the Ravens before the bye, I want to see how Herbert comes off of that, and he's getting tested right away. What do we think is going to happen? Is Justin Herbert going to have a good game? Tell me, Johnny.
Yeah, I think he'll have a good game. I don't think he's going to have a great game. I think he'll have a good game. I think it'll be a pretty good Justin Herbert game. I actually like Mac Jones a little bit more in this game than I do Herbert for some reason. I just think I got this feeling, and it was one of those feelings I got in the middle of the night. I went and picked him up literally in the middle of the night, that I think Mac Jones is going to have a really good game this week.
All right, what do you think, Royce?
Yeah, this almost made it into my my 3 picks later. I like the Patriots in this game. I think 5.5 is a lot. If the Patriots defense shows up like they did last week, I think Herbert's in trouble. But I do see them running the ball, the Chargers a little bit more. So I just see a struggle. I see a close game. I mean, I think the Chargers are going to win, but not more than 6. That's what I think.
Tony?
Yeah, I kind of like what Johnny said. I think I'm still taking the Chargers, but I don't think they're going to have a super game. I think they're going to have a good game, a decent game, enough to get by, including Herbert. It'll be okay, but I think they'll pull it out.
I think this is a Mike Williams comeback game, guys. I think he's gonna be your beast.
Like that.
All right. Next game, Tampa Bay Bucks. They're 5.5 point favorites on the road in New Orleans. The over-under is 50. First thought on this game is take the under. I don't think Tampa Bay, Tom Brady's not the same on the road. He's going crazy at home, putting up huge numbers, but on the road he's been very pedestrian. I think the Saints have a great defense. I think they play the pound and ground type game. They try to run the clock, and I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. What do you say? I'm going to start with you, Tony. What do you say?
What did you just say? Low scoring?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I think it's going to be higher than you think. I think it's going to be a pretty high scoring game. I think we're going to be shocked by this. And I think Brady is going to have another huge game. I know what you're saying about the road and so on and so forth, He is going to change that this week, and it's going to be a high-scoring game. Tampa Bay is going to pull it out, of course, but high-scoring game. That's what I'm going with.
Royce?
I like the running game of both of these teams. I think Fournette's going to have a great game, and I think Kamara again is going to keep it going. So I think the defenses might show up in this game. It might be kind of fun. It might be an old school run, pass at the end. So I like the under, and I like the Saints to keep it close.
Last year, so I'm a little bit with Royce on this, and with you on the low scoring. I would bet the under. And last year, if you guys remember, before Brady went on the historic run and they kind of became the Buccaneers that they were, there was a game that afterwards everybody went, "Oh, Brady's done. That guy's got to retire." Played terrible. It was awful. That game was played in New Orleans against the Saints. That defense, they got Tom's number a little bit. It's the same defensive players. That defense looked way better against the Seahawks. But I think Evans is going to draw Lattimore. Brown's not playing this week, so it's a big Godwin.
Godwin.
Yeah, I think if you're going to play any of those Buccaneers receivers, I think it's Godwin this week. But I don't think it's a huge week. I think you're right. I think the running games on both sides take over this game.
All right. Sounds good. And the last game I wanted to discuss, we got the Dallas Cowboys coming back off the bye, also playing a team coming off a bye in the Dome at Minnesota Vikings. The over-under is 54.5, so Vegas thinks it's a high-scoring game. Cowboys favored by 2.5. This is going to be a shootout, right, boys?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Not only are they both coming off the bye, it's also a Monday night game, so they have that extra day of prep. I think both teams are going to be finely tuned. I think we're going to see I think Jefferson's going to get a long touchdown. I think we're going to see some CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Ezekiel. He's going to eat. Right, Johnny Bogan?
Yeah, he is. I actually like Thielen better than I like Jefferson this week, though. I think Jefferson will draw Diggs, and I think Thielen will play a lot more in the slot and do those sneaky undercut passes that he does. So I like Thielen better. I agree with you. I think this is going to be a bigger game. Cousins is not awesome, though, in primetime games. So it's a Monday night game, so I'm a little worried about that on the Vikings side. I think the Cowboys are absolutely going to destroy the Vikings this week.
What do you think,
I heard that.
Real quick, it's actually a Sunday night game.
Oh, Sunday night.
Yeah, Chiefs Giants are Monday.
Either way.
Yeah, I kind of go back and forth on this one. Cousins lately has been playing well. I mean, I think he's top 10 at least, last 3-4 weeks, I believe. If Dallas's defense shows up, I like the Cowboys. Pretty basic.
What do you guys think Dalvin Cook will do? Think he'll have a game? Or are they going to have to throw it?
Even if they throw it, I think they'll throw it to him. I think he's going to have a pretty good game.
Yeah, I agree.
Cousins,
I totally agree.
Because the thing with Cousins is he'll give you 61 week and then 15 the next week. Frustrating, man.
I know, but he's been pretty consistent.
He's not awesome in big games. He's not awesome in big games.
That's true. Last month, though, he's been pretty decent, though. I mean, he has. So, we'll see.
All right.
Haunted questions.
Haunted questions. These are questions that have been haunting me the last week or two that I've been thinking about, and I want to ask my boys, and we're going to discuss. And the first haunted question I have is a continuation from last week's show. You guys, Tony and Royce, you weren't here. We were discussing who is the top quarterback in fantasy football moving forward. Who would we want the most of any quarterback? John and I tend to agree on one guy, and that's Buffalo's Josh Allen. I want to hear your take, Tony. What do you think?
In defense to me, because I don't have the schedules in front of me, but I'm going with my gut, is Dak Prescott. I think that they know what they have now. I think they know what they're at, as long as he's healthy, of course, but that goes with any quarterback saying. But I think Prescott is going to be the man. I think he's going to put up those numbers that you saw the very first week, and they're driven and they're ready to go. So I look for Dak Prescott to lead the way.
Like it.
Royce, what do you
Yeah.
think?
I'm on the Josh Allen train too, guys. That was as soon as I saw that question, that's the quarterback that popped in. But if I can do an honorable mention, I don't know if he's gonna be the top one, but and that's Poop's boy, Joe Burrow, man. Wow,
I knew you were going to say that. I
he
knew
is
it.
fun. You got
Fun.
Chase is he's bad. He's top 3. I don't know where this tight end came from. Higgins got 15 targets last week. They're throwing the ball like crazy, guys. I mean, he's getting points. He's gobbling points up. Boom,
I always
boom,
like
boom,
to
boom.
take the first 2 weeks and throw him out since week
Yeah.
3. He's quarterback 4,
Yeah,
Joe Burrow.
and I think it's just going to keep going. Yeah, but number 1 overall, Reaper, Josh Allen for sure. Number 1.
Agreed. All right. Deshaun Watson, I already told you they've kind of had an agreement in place with the Texans and the Dolphins. So what I'm asking you is, will this trade actually be consummated? And if not, where do you think Deshaun Watson will end up? And if you had your choice, where would you want him to end up for fantasy purposes? I'll start with you, John. Tell me what you're thinking.
I don't think he plays this year. I don't think he's going to end up playing. I think the backlash against the NFL, if he gets traded and then is allowed to play from Miami, is just too great. And they're trying to attract female fans, not detract from them. I think the backlash will be too great. And in today's world of cancellation, as the NFL, you can't take that chance. So I don't think he'll end up playing this year.
Tony, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Johnny 100%. 100%. I don't see it possible, and I think it would be a grave decision just for the NFL to allow it to happen. Right now, they're trying to play like, well, we still don't have enough, and there's not enough on him. You are asking for it with these emails and these times that we live in. It's so risky for the NFL to allow him.
And it's so unnecessarily risky, right? I mean,
absolutely. It's so easy to be like, no, we don't need him. Just stay out till you figure out your crap. That's how I feel.
Royce, you agree?
I do agree, but I think the trade's going to happen somehow. I got a feeling.
I think the trade might still happen.
I think it's going to go down. I think Houston just wants to wash his hands of it and just take their 3 pick or their first round picks and say, see ya. Don't let the door hit you.
That's true.
Or the good Lord split you.
Hey,
and give let that be Miami's headache. If he plays this year, I agree. I don't see it happening, guys, until all this stuff is gets settled in and out of court.
Yeah.
The Reaper agrees with you guys that the legal thing is troublesome, and who wants to take that risk with the fan base and all that. But I got a feeling that things are starting to get clearer for Deshaun Watson. I think if he was going to be charged with something, we would have heard that by now. And I think he's going to get through this without getting charged. And that's why I think this trade talk is coming up all of a sudden. I think Miami's on the verge of taking a chance and bringing him over. And you're damn right they're going to play him if he clears his legal proceedings. If he doesn't get charged with anything, you're going to see Deshaun Watson out in the field. The question is he going to be charged? I think it would have happened by now. That's just my gut. What do you guys think?
I mean, you do have a point. You have a point that nothing has come down on him. But I feel like, again, because of things like cancel culture, that there's too many negatives, too many irons in the fire against him. So even if he's not charged, it's going to take a while for him to, in an organization in general, if they plan to protect or get their reputation back. So I still think it's very risky for a franchise to take him, play him, is my opinion.
Okay. All right, let's move on. Another burning question, a haunted question that I have for you guys. I want to talk about Javonte Williams. Now, we know Javonte Williams is a stud, but the fantasy roosters over there blocking him. And I want to know, in your gut, do you guys think that Javonte Williams will ever become a running back 1 this year and, get to, show off his skills and get Gordon kind of out of the way? Is that going to happen this year, or is this a 50-50 split the rest of the year? I'm going to start with you, John.
No, at some point that coach and I loved him as the defensive coordinator for the Bears. But he's got to win some games, and what he's doing now is not working, and he's going to have to figure something out different. And they know what they got with Josh Gordon, or not Josh Gordon, Melvin Gordon.
Melvin.
Yeah, I know what they've got in Melvin. Let's see what the kid can do. There's just no reason to keep doing it in a timeshare. Melvin Gordon's not their long-term future. That kid's their future. I think he becomes the number one. I'd give it I'm not sure what their buy is for Denver, but I would give it to actually their buy is week 11. I think after that he'll be the starting running back.
Royce, what do you think?
I hope so. He had a nice game. I think just over 17 points. He had three or five catches. I can't remember. He looks like the number one guy. But unless Gordon goes down, it's going to be a 50-50 split, guys. So that's what I think.
Yeah, I think there's a point there that they're if they're not winning games, they are going to need to mix it up. I think that's what it's going to come down to. So if they keep losing, you get into week 12, 13, 14, they're going to just start the kid. That's if they're losing. If they're winning, they'll probably stay 50-50. But how much are they going to win? When Judy gets back, maybe some things will change. I don't know.
Well, the good thing for the Broncos is right now the Chiefs are not playing good football, and they're under 500. The Raiders are leading the division, but I'm not so sure the Raiders can continue this, winning ways. They seem to always fade at the end of the year. We'll see. So they're still in the hunt, and as long as they're in the hunt, they're going to go 50-50. That's just the way I see it. Until they fade out of the playoff picture, that's when Javonte Williams will get his opportunity. Even though that sounds backwards, I think they trust Melvin Gordon's veteran presence, and they want him to get 50-50 with Javonte, and they're not ready to unleash him yet. And when they fade from the playoff picture, that's when they'll unleash him, because they'll have nothing to lose at that point. So I'm hoping the Raiders run away with the division, and we'll get to see Javonte, but we'll see what happens.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, that would be ideal.
Yeah, he's a stud. He'll be maybe top 10 next year off the board, running back, something like that, for sure.
We'll see.
Yeah. Carton.
All right, I got one more question, and this one really haunts me. It pissed me off, actually. I'm asking you guys, is Tom Brady a glorified stat stuffer? And the reason why I'm asking you is because I'm watching the game last week, and they're up 35-3 in the fourth quarter, and they're on the goal line at the 1 yard line, and Leonard Fournette got them down to the goal line. First and goal, Brady back to pass, incomplete. Second and goal, Brady back to pass, incomplete. Third and goal, Brady back to pass, incomplete. Oh, there's a penalty. They got a first down. They did it again. 3 more passes from Tom Brady. Luckily, he didn't complete any of them. But I'm thinking, why the hell is he in the game? Why is he still throwing up 35-3 and not killing the clock? To me, it felt like he's just stuffing his stats for his, for the history books. And that's not how you do it, in my opinion. I want to know, do you guys feel like he's a glorified stat stuffer like the Reaper? John, let me hear it.
Yeah, probably. He is. He stuffs his stats. But man, I mean, what are you gonna do? He's the greatest of all time. If he wants to stat a little bit, he can stat a little bit. That's who he is.
How do you feel about it, Tony?
Yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Why else would you do that? I'm just surprised that the coach allowed him to stay in. For me, it was a little bit disappointing, but he is the GOAT. So what do you do? It rubbed me the wrong way, but what do you do? He's gonna do what he does best, and if he wants to stay in, he has earned the right. He's that good. So,
Royce, what do you think?
First of all, is this a fantasy football show? Throw the ball every time. Up 50-0. Give me points. Am I Tom Brady? Let's go. Are you rooting for him to just take a knee and hand the ball off to Fournette? So what? I don't care.
Hey,
Stuff my numbers. Let's go. My stats.
people have Leonard Fournette too, and they want a touchdown.
Well, you know what? Too bad. I don't have him. I have Tom Brady. Throw the ball.
Guess you should have drafted Tom Brady instead.
Tom Brady. Yeah,
Look,
exactly.
I love what Tom Brady's trying to do. He's trying to get records and put him out of reach. I get it. But when you're up 35-3 and you're the star quarterback on the defending Super Bowl champs, why are you risking injury playing and just trying to run up stats? Just do what Patrick Mahomes and Peyton Manning and Drew Brees did. When they're up 35-3, you shut it down, man. Come on. This stat padding is stupid, and it's going to come back to haunt him, I think.
It is a little disappointing, a little embarrassing, I think.
I think it is. I don't think it's the true way to get your stats. Get them when they count, baby. Anyway. All right.
Tell us how you really feel, man.
Yeah, that was an angry Reaper rant.
Angry rant.
Might be time to take Tom Brady out, guys.
You try to every year. It never happens.
Die with Royce.
Let Royce cook. Let Royce cook.
Mr. Royce, the Fantasy Creeper. Die with Royce, the degenerate gambler. You're going to roll with him, you're going to live with him, or you're going to die with him. But the man went 3-0 last time he was here, and he's now 5-1 on the season. Let Royce cook. Let Royce cook. Let Royce cook. All right, guys. I want to hear what Royce has. How many picks do you have for us this week, Mr. Royce?
At 3.
Going for 3 again. What do you got?
Trifecta.
All right, real quick. I shouldn't say I'm not loving these games, but those are the ones that kind of popped out at me. Poop, this is for you. I'm going with my gut. You talked about it earlier. Chuck, you said Green Bay +6. I some places have them at 6.5 against Arizona. That's too many points for Aaron Rodgers, guys. I like Green Bay in this one. I don't like them to win, but I do like them to cover. I think it's going to be close. I know he has no one to throw to. I think it's going to be a run-dependent game. Arizona, yes, their defense is good. But if we can go do an old 1991 Bills Giants Super Bowl, Otis Anderson, am I dating myself? Remember they had the ball for about 25 minutes on one. Just keep Kyler Murray off the field.
Yep.
I like the Packers to go ahead late in this game, and I like Kyler to come back and win it 27-23, but Packers will cover.
You keep wearing those pajamas, you will be dating yourself.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's already happening. It's too late.
Says the guy with the tinfoil hat.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah. Second game, Chiefs or -9.5 home against the Giants. Let's go, Chiefs. Come on. That's a lot of points. The Chiefs, come on. They're not going to do this 2 weeks in a row, are they? They're home. They got some good cooking, hopefully some good loving. And, guys, it's the Giants. They stink. And they crushed the Panthers last week, but my high school football team probably could have put up a good fight against the Panthers, right? I think they're going to go down. They're going to remember what they do best. They're going to run the ball. They're going to catch the ball. They're going to hold on to the ball. I like 2 big plays from Hill. Chiefs cover 38-13. Last, talking about Patterson earlier, Cordell. Falcons are -3 at home against the Panthers. And what did I just say? Panthers are poo. Take Atlanta. They're rolling. Ryan is getting in a rhythm. He's got everybody back. Pitts was a stud last week. I don't think anyone's stopping anyone. Mike Davis, don't worry about him. He's not going to play. Give Patterson the ball, throw it to Pitts. I like Atlanta 24-13.
Give it to me, Royce. First pick was Packers to cover.
Packers +6.5. Chiefs -9.5, and Falcons -3 at home against the Panthers.
There you go, guys. Sell your Bitcoin. Put it all on the bets here. You're gonna go 3-0 this week, and then you can buy back Bitcoin and get more of it. Right, guys?
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
All right. Just wanted to say before we exit tonight, thank you very much for hitting that like button. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we get more views, the channel grows, the community grows. We appreciate you guys for doing that. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. We're doing this every week, and we appreciate you joining us for the Halloween special. I hope you had a good time like we did. I want to thank Johnny Ballgame, the Fantasy Crusader. Good job tonight. I want to thank the Fantasy Creeper, Sir Royce. Thank you very much. And Sir Poops a Lot, Sir Her Poops a Lot, whatever you're calling yourself. Appreciate you. And thank you once again, guys. We are out. We'll see you for week 9. Aloha.
Chucky. Thanks, Chuck.
Later.
Bruce.
It'll burn your face right off. Shut up, fool! Shut up, fool! Shut up, fool!
Tune in next week for another episode of Fantasy Sports Island.